What's up? Good morning. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. I'll definitely be doing some Father's Day stuff today, but I have to say, for the most part, it's been a pretty quiet weekend. Not a whole lot of news, not a lot of movement in the charts. We've just kind of been chopping around these ranges, and this isn't really surprising. This is one of the lowest volume days we've seen in a while, and I do want to talk about that. But I don't think things are going to stay very quiet for long. We have some stuff coming this next week, which I will mention briefly, but I do actually want to talk about a couple things that you need to watch really closely here, as well as this XRP ecosystem integration into the Cardano ecosystem. I think that this could be a pretty big deal moving forward. So again, if you guys haven't already, show your support for the channel down below. It's been growing like crazy, and it's all because of you guys. So I will say, ADA didn't do a whole lot over the last 24 hours. Most everything in crypto was pretty darn quiet. I don't think I checked the charts one time after I made my videos yesterday. Was not getting much for price alerts outside of, I think TIE was pretty much it. It just kind of kept bouncing around this 10 cent range. That was pretty much about it. No real changes in terms of stochastic RSI or anything like that. And what I will say is that that's not really surprising, because yesterday was only a $78 billion day in the crypto market. Not like those $40 billion weekend days like we were having a few months back, but this is in fact the lowest day we've had in the last 30 days. I think it's the lowest day we've seen since all the way back on March or May 6th. So that's pretty notable. And it's nice to see the market actually calming down after the overseas news, the overseas escalations. Things could have gotten pretty bad in crypto. They have not, at least as of right now. We'll see what happens, because again, I don't think volume is going to stay quiet and low for very long. Now, in terms of ADA itself, guys, we're still just following that bearish move on the daily stochastic RSI. Not really surprising. We did, in fact, talk about that. And it looks like we're getting very close to the bottom of this retracement here. I mean, the bottom, frankly, may in fact already be in. Just to give you guys kind of a little bit of a recap, we obviously talked about this head and shoulders that was building here for ADA. We obviously had our breakdown here. Now we're building the right shoulder on this inverse head and shoulders. So we're the people that are getting very bearish and negative. Guys, I read all the comments. I see the people getting this way. You need to understand, one, ADA's moving with the rest of crypto right now. Not a whole lot of difference between anything in the space. It's very, very correlated right now. And two, structurally, things are not that bad. So people need to just pump the brakes, relax, and just be patient. All right, I get it. I'm ready for things to take off. I'd love if they would move as well. But, this market cycle has definitely been one to test a lot of people. Now, what I will say here as well is on the weekly, we're on the bear side. We're very close to the oversold range here as well. So we're basically getting to the essentially bottom of these retracements, which is a great sign. We need a little bit of a refresh, reload, kind of like we've seen several times before, like all the way back in the summer of 2023, right before obviously ADA went and did a kind of a 4X out of nowhere. All right. Now, obviously, I'm not saying that that's going to happen for sure. I'm not saying it has to play out this way to perfection. But what I will say is that there's still quite a bit of confidence in the crypto market. We're actually consolidating at some of the highest levels we ever have historically in terms of BTC. That's a great sign. A lot of resilience there. I'll really be curious to see what institutional money does this next week, because you have to remember that we have our FOMC meeting this coming week. So that could maybe give a spark of excitement to the market. Again, right now, really high likelihood that we're not getting an interest rate decrease. Maybe we get a surprise one. Not going to count on that at all. But the Fed could, in fact, hint that there are rates coming sometime in the near future. Jerome Powell tends to play stuff pretty close to the vest. So, again, not banking on that either. But there are things that could, in fact, happen. Now, where the big excitement for 2025 stems from for Cardano is from a lot of things, but one of the major things that we have been discussing and paying attention to is the launch of Midnight and the Glacier airdrop. Now, there were some questions for Charles Hoskinson about any progress on an RLUSD integration into Cardano, and Charles Hoskinson actually said yesterday that there is a whole XRP package with the Glacier drop, Lace Wallet support, XRP DeFi, and real USD talks. And this is a big deal because obviously the XRP ecosystem has really been taking off with this new excitement surrounding the conclusion of the Ripple v SEC case, potential spot XRP ETF, and this has caused XRP DeFi to, in fact, take big steps forward. So by XRP DeFi actually coming to Cardano, that's a pretty big deal. That could be obviously a significant boost in liquidity, activity, et cetera, et cetera. But I want to read through what he said here. He said, These are discussions that are part of the overall Bitcoin DeFi agenda. It's the same with XRP entering our space. I'd love for Cardano Midnight to be the DeFi layer of the XRP ecosystem so they can stay and continue to be XRP, but then they can get much better yields for their holders and for Ripple itself, the company that created XRP. So we're in a good position and ecosystem strong. We should never forget the principles. And the principles have exactly been the driving force for Cardano. It's the reason why you have this convicted holder base, because we have not strayed from the reason that Cardano was created, about true decentralization, about the true real path forward for crypto. And that's obviously a very exciting thing. It might not get some people out of bed in the morning, but to stick to this and actually see big progress here, I think is a pretty big sign. Now, what people need to understand is that what we're seeing in terms of Midnight and this glacier airdrop, we have never seen in crypto before. We're the guinea pigs, we're the test pilots. We don't know how this is going to go. This could be extremely successful, bring Cardano online, and could make it, the most used ecosystem in crypto. It could end up doing absolutely nothing, like some haters say. But what you need to understand is that, could it make things worse? And the answer is no, not really. How much lower can we get in terms of daily active users, right? I'm just kidding, obviously. We've seen big steps forward in Cardano in this market cycle. We've seen big integrations. We've seen big partnerships created, and they seem to be getting larger and more frequent. And now we're making big DeFi steps forward. I mean, this is set up to be a really exciting cycle for Cardano. And the biggest thing that we're just waiting for, like we've talked about many times, is adoption. And that's going to come either from, from Midnight. It could come from obviously the market getting excited and just retail flocking into the space. That is when Cardano tends to do its best. That's when Cardano DeFi tends to surge as well. So we're basically taking the right steps in times where frankly everything sucks. That's the best way to say it. So I'm excited about the future. I'm excited about this market cycle. I still think 2025 has a lot in its tank that people aren't going to be prepared for. But that's all I got for you guys. So I appreciate you as always. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts below, but have a great day. Catch you guys in the next one. Take care.